Imagine, if you will, that the person whose absence brings you sorrow, the soul you might think has disappeared permanently, is actually right beside you as these words unfold. I recognize how deeply this notion might speak to you. I'm aware your logical mind could swiftly label it as simple wishful thinking or a fleeting, intangible image. Yet, what if I could show you, by drawing upon the carefully documented wisdom of Edgar Cayce, widely regarded as history's most extraordinary clairvoyant, that passing on is merely a change, much like stepping from one room into another? And what if I were to reveal 7 distinct signs suggesting that those you cherish, who are no longer physically present, are not only close by, but are actively attempting to connect with you right now? Our journey of discovery commences at this very instant. Permit me to open by recounting a personal encounter from 3 years prior, a moment that profoundly reshaped my perception of crossing over, of grieving, and of the invisible dimension that surrounds us constantly. 6 months had elapsed since my grandmother's passing, and the sorrow I carried was profound. Perhaps you comprehend that specific sensation, don't you? That empty void deep within your spirit, as if a fragment of your very essence has fractured. The sudden softening of the world's bright colors, its vital energy, its sense of intimacy. While sifting through her personal effects, I uncovered a collection of letters I had never known existed. Notes she had penned to her own mother after her mother had passed on. Contained within one of these, dated 1952, was a passage that utterly captivated my attention. "I know you might believe I'm not entirely reasonable," she had inscribed, "but Mother appears to me, not merely in my dreams, but also during my waking moments. She tidies small articles in the kitchen. She switches on the wireless to broadcast our special melody. Only yesterday, her unmistakable fragrance enveloped me with such intensity that I instinctively turned, expecting to discover her standing there. A particular exchange ignited a deep personal exploration within me, completely reshaping how I perceived reality. As I slowly came to understand that my grandmother wasn't inventing these happenings, nor was she merely conceiving them in her mind. Instead, she was authentically experiencing precisely what Edgar Cayce had meticulously chronicled over many decades: the real, observable, and verifiable means by which our departed loved ones continue to interact with our dimension. Across more than 40 years, Cayce extended profound insight through his consultations to innumerable souls, contending with the deep sorrow of parting from cherished connections. And with each successive consultation, he brought to light a significant truth widely unacknowledged by broader society: that the journey of passing doesn't terminate a bond. Instead, it merely redefines its essence. This constituted his core, deeply influential realization. Yet, before we delve into those 7 guiding signs together, pointers that could illuminate occurrences in your personal journey, I feel it's essential to first convey Edgar Cayce's profound understanding regarding the fundamental essence of consciousness itself. The year 1931 saw a woman approach Cayce, deeply distressed by the sudden loss of her husband. Her sole desire was to discover his present state, if tranquility had found him, or even if his being persisted. As Cayce slipped into his meditative trance, the insights he offered went beyond simple solace. They represented a profound revelation. His explanation revealed that our inner awareness, the core of our identity, is indestructible. Instead, it experiences a fundamental transformation of its nature or condition. Much like water shifting into vapor, the soul merely moves from one level of being to the next. This specific idea struck a very deep chord within me. Edgar Cayce conveyed that after transitioning from life, souls frequently linger close to the earthly sphere, particularly near those individuals they cherished most deeply. This phenomenon isn't due to any constraint or hindrance to their progression, but rather springs from the profound insight that love, at its core, constitutes a potent force able to surpass the boundaries of mortal cessation. This inherent energetic current constantly seeks channels for expression, connection, and avenues to bring solace and direction to those still dwelling in the material world. What we are contemplating extends far beyond mere enchanting spiritual verses. Cayce affirmed that this truly reflects the foundational workings of the cosmos itself. Furthermore, if one cultivates the skill to perceive accurately, if one comes to grasp the unique communication patterns employed by spirits who have journeyed to the other side to convey their messages, you will then begin to discern their presence permeating your surroundings. The sense of wonder grows significantly. We now turn to Edgar Cayce's profound insights concerning consciousness extending beyond our mortal existence. It is at this juncture that the narrative truly captivates. Cayce revealed that spirits who have passed on communicate with us, utilizing what he termed the 7 channels of connection. Such encounters are not arbitrary. Indeed, they are much more than mere coincidences. Instead, perceive them as deliberate attempts from loved ones spanning across dimensions to validate their perpetual bond with you. Nevertheless, this is where a particular challenge arises. Many of us have grown accustomed to disregarding such indicators, seeing them as mere products of imagination or as deceptions born of sorrow, or even just as distortions played by our own minds. We've been instructed to believe that anything existing outside the scope of scientific measurement presents a dubious claim to reality. This Cayce identified as the profound drawback embedded within a perspective solely concentrated on the material realm. He conveyed that when we shut off our emotional and intellectual awareness to the prospect of ongoing communion, we are forfeiting something far greater than mere solace. Indeed, we are letting go of the profound bonds we share with those individuals who hold the deepest significance in our lives. Please consider this perspective thoughtfully. Picture for a moment a beloved soul who has departed, who has perhaps been endeavoring to reach out to you over an extended period, perhaps many months or even years, yet you consistently overlook every sign, every significant synchronicity, every fleeting moment where you might perceive their nearness. What if they are genuinely present, perhaps even beside you at this very moment, transmitting countless signals, but your thoughts remain inaccessible to them, purely because you harbor doubts about the viability of such an exchange? If you have ever experienced a moment, no matter how fleeting, where you sense the proximity of someone who has passed on, as though they were still connected to you in some way, I encourage you to welcome and cherish that feeling. The perspectives I'm about to present could significantly alter your understanding of those very encounters. Our first sign is the 3 a.m. awakening, frequently known as the subtle hours. This initial hint presents itself as an awakening. Let me now reveal this first gentle indicator. I urge you to pay careful attention, for this specific occurrence may have touched your own life quite recently. Edgar Cayce stated that a main way spirits communicate involves gently waking us during what he called the thin hours. This commonly occurs between 2 and 4 a.m., quite unlike the sudden, anxious awakening caused by stress or worry. This particular type of experience is quite distinctive. It involves a gentle, slow arousal that guides you into awareness, resulting in a sensation of alertness and consciousness, much like hearing your name quietly murmured. Cayce elaborated that during these hours before dawn, the division separating different dimensions grows remarkably permeable. In these quiet periods, our rational, analytical thinking diminishes, allowing our feelings to become more open and making it easier to connect with those we hold dear. Yet, as Cayce highlighted, the crucial aspect is that experiences like these do not incite dread or discomfort. Rather, they impart a profound feeling of peace and comfort. Frequently, one perceives another's presence within a room, a gentle feeling of fellowship, despite no one being visually apparent. I can share my own encounter with this very phenomenon, which occurred shortly after my grandmother's passing. My eyes gently opened precisely at 3:17 in the morning. A specific hour I later discovered was her habitual time for quiet daily prayers. A profound sense of serenity completely surrounded me, and I vividly recall the faint scent of her coffee gently preparing in the kitchen. When I checked as expected, there was nothing physically out of place. Still, that particular sensation, that unique feeling, felt undeniably authentic. A deeper examination of Edgar Cayce's observations on this matter revealed that spirits who have passed on often choose to visit during our most serene periods, precisely because our active, questioning minds present less opposition. Their purpose is never to alarm us, but rather to offer peace, to assure us of their continued presence and well-being, and to gently remind us that affection endures beyond the veil of physical life. A second noteworthy indication, termed the messenger, involves the world of animals. This documented sign manifests when creatures such as birds, graceful butterflies, and even our cherished domestic companions act as conduits for communication. Edgar Cayce carefully documented this powerful phenomenon, explaining how animals, especially feathered friends, delicate winged insects, and our own household pets, can exhibit behaviors that deviate from their typical patterns, seemingly transmitting insights from the spiritual dimension. Cayce elaborated that non-physical entities possess a significantly greater ability to influence the conduct of living beings than they do to impact inert objects. Sentient beings possess an innate heightened awareness of spiritual currents, showing a more profound receptiveness to the ethereal realms enveloping our lives. Across numerous accounts within his recorded sessions, Cayce recounted particular happenings. A brilliant cardinal consistently appearing at a window each dawn following a mother's death. A gentle butterfly alighting softly on a shoulder during the remembrance of a cherished person's farewell. Or a previously aloof cat unexpectedly drawing near to someone enduring a phase of sorrow. Cayce, nevertheless, underscored that the crucial elements extend beyond the incidents themselves, encompassing their precise timing and the profound emotions they awaken within us. These kinds of moments are not merely chance encounters with the natural world. Rather, they reveal themselves when your thoughts are intensely directed towards someone you have lost during times of intense sadness or when you are most sincerely longing for direction. Let us now consider the narrative of Sarah, chronicled by Cayce in the year 1936. A mother was deeply enveloped by sorrow and self-blame following the tragic passing of her young child in an unfortunate occurrence. Merely 3 days after the memorial service, a tiny robin started appearing at her kitchen pane each and every dawn. This was truly an extraordinary visitor. It would gently peck the window until it caught her attention, then remain perched, seeming to gaze into her very soul for a brief moment before taking flight. Upon consulting Cayce sometime later, she learned that her son was utilizing this small avian friend as a conduit to convey an unwavering message. "I am at peace, dear mother. I remain by your side. I implore you, release yourself from this burden of blame." Cayce tenderly explained that the gentle tapping was her son's distinctive method of connection, an unspoken request that echoed, "Please perceive me. I'm endeavoring to connect with you." About 3 months later, Sarah shared a personal experience with Cayce, recounting how a tiny red-breasted bird had visited her every day. Right up until the morning, a deep sense of calm settled within her heart regarding her son's passing. On that very day, the little robin appeared at her window one final time, as if offering a tender goodbye, and then gracefully flew away, vanishing from her sight forever. I invite you now to gently ponder your own individual journey for a brief moment. Since someone dear to you has departed, have you perhaps observed any remarkable interactions with animals? Perhaps a bird that arrived at a very meaningful instant, or a butterfly that delicately rested on you just as their memories quietly arose. Have your cherished household companions displayed any actions that were rather unusual? Feel welcome to recount your personal story in the comments below. For this is a profound truth I have come to realize. As we gently open up about these experiences, releasing any apprehension that others might perceive us as unreasoning, a truly wonderful truth starts to appear. At that moment, we comprehend that we are not journeying along this path in isolation. It becomes evident that these signals hold a profound truth. They are widely recognized and experienced by individuals across the globe. Please feel comfortable expressing your gratitude for any observations that resonate most profoundly within your heart. Let us offer reciprocal encouragement within this collective insight, for through recognizing one another's personal journeys, we softly create a more unobstructed path for our cherished departed ones to extend their presence and form a bond. If you have not yet joined our gentle community, I extend a heartfelt invitation for you to become a part of us. We are cultivating a peaceful haven for those who understand that a physical departure does not signify the cessation of love, and your presence within this sacred space is deeply treasured. Let's now softly move on to considering our third subtle sign, recognizing well-known scents, often called their distinct perfume. This third manifestation, a feeling of familiarity, documented by Edgar Cayce, is something almost anyone who has experienced the sorrow of bereavement can readily identify. It is the sudden, unmistakable scent of someone dear to you, appearing as if from thin air. Cayce explained that our olfactory sense acts as one of the most direct pathways for connection with the spiritual realm, primarily because it bypasses our rational minds and links straight to our emotional memories. When a spirit that has passed on desires to communicate its nearness, arranging the atmospheric particles around you to bear their particular aroma is considered one of the most powerful methods. This isn't just noticing something similar to a perfume or cologne they used to wear. Instead, it entails discerning their exact scent in an area where no one has applied any fragrance at all. Envision the aroma of their preferred pipe tobacco, even within a dwelling where no one smokes. Or perhaps perceive their treasured blossoms flourishing brightly against winter's chill, or the soothing fragrance of their unique culinary creations permeating a kitchen where no food was ever made. Edgar Cayce himself emphasized these distinct occurrences with striking precision. These exceptional scents appear rather abruptly, remain for just a brief period, and then entirely vanish. Furthermore, their arrival frequently coincides precisely with moments when you seek solace, when your mind dwells upon them, or on significant anniversaries and dates that carry deep importance in your collective journey. A specific session Cayce conducted for a gentleman whose spouse had succumbed to cancer stays clear in my recollection. This individual had an inherently questioning intellect, an engineer whose convictions were rooted solely in what could be quantified and substantiated. Yet, about 6 weeks following the service held in memory of his late wife, as he rested peacefully in his living room, the distinct aroma of her familiar lavender perfume softly diffused through the air. He conducted a meticulous search of his entire residence, discovering no perfume bottles, no room fresheners, and utterly no logical explanation for the scent. When he eventually sought out Cayce, longing for a deeper understanding, Cayce communicated a message that moved him to profound weeping. Your cherished companion wishes for you to grasp that her struggles have ended. This lavender fragrance serves as her gentle intimation that she has attained a state of calm, and her deepest wish is for you to likewise achieve inner peace. Let us now explore Sign 4, the realm of technological and electrical phenomena. Perhaps among the most captivating indicators documented by Cayce are those he referred to as electrical sympathies. This encompasses the subtle influences that departed souls can exert upon electronic devices and modern technological systems. We should bear in mind that these perspectives from Cayce emerged in the 1920s and 30s, at a time long preceding the common presence of televisions, home computers, or cell phones within the majority of households. Nevertheless, he often elucidated how the essences of those departed maintained the capacity to affect electrical currents, resulting in radios playing melodies with profound personal meaning, lights flickering in distinct patterns, or even telephones ringing without anyone actively making the connection. Cayce proposed the concept that consciousness itself operates as a form of electrical energy, and upon an individual transitioning from this earthly realm, their inherent skill for interacting with electrical fields is not lost. Indeed, his belief was that they become even more attuned to such energies. A soul that has moved beyond this existence possesses the ability to direct its own energy, initiating precise electrical reactions intended to convey a specific communication. Cayce emphasized that the crucial element involved discerning the hidden pattern and the exact instant these occurrences emerge. Picture instances where a favorite melody, previously adored by an individual who has passed, spontaneously begins to play from a radio you haven't activated. Alternatively, lights might softly waver in the exact area where you're experiencing a profound yearning for their nearness. Your cell phone could also display their well-known number as an incoming communication, even though that particular line has been dormant for a while. Such happenings are not merely chance events. Instead, they represent significant avenues of connection. The fifth indication we have relates to dreams that seem more vivid than our conscious existence or a deep alignment of events. Cayce viewed this specific indicator as the clearest possible link for engagement between our present existence and the unseen realm. Such occurrences are referred to as visitation dreams, characterized by a vividness and realness that might surpass even our usual conscious experiences. Cayce drew a careful distinction between the typical dreams we have of loved ones no longer with us and those he precisely labeled as true visitation encounters. Normal dreams, he clarified, frequently emerge from our subconscious, processing emotions of sorrow and recollections. However, authentic visitation dreams, he asserted, are actual encounters occurring within what he termed the borderland, a unique realm positioned between the earthly and the ethereal, making true interaction possible. So, how might one then recognize this distinction? Cayce carefully outlined particular qualities that indicate a genuine visitation. To begin, these dreams carry an intensity and a substantial quality that greatly exceeds any other dream you have ever experienced. Visuals possess a heightened glow. Emotions resonate more profoundly. Every detail appears remarkably clear, and your recollection of these encounters stays perfectly vivid upon waking. Next, the dear individual who has passed on often looks robust, complete, and younger than they were at the time of their departure. They show no signs of distress or discomfort. Rather, they radiate a profound sense of tranquility and warmth. A third characteristic is that they frequently convey specific insights or facts that you could not possibly have known beforehand. This might involve disclosing the location of something they had once concealed, sharing a message meant for another relative, or revealing a particular aspect of their crossing that brings you immense solace. And the fourth aspect, which is truly essential, is that you awaken feeling deeply settled and peaceful, completely devoid of any disquiet. There is frequently a strong intuition of having genuinely spent time with these beloved figures, engaging in an authentic conversation, a profound and loving reunion. Edgar Cayce meticulously documented a multitude of these dream encounters, consistently observing a pattern where departed souls use the dream realm to engage in extended conversations with those they hold dear, as our conscious logical minds are unable to impede such interactions. Turning our attention now to the sixth indicator, recurring numbers and meaningful occurrences. This particular sign encompasses what Cayce referred to as numerical communications, describing how spirits from the other side might orchestrate significant coincidences and repeated numerical patterns to capture our awareness. You may begin to frequently observe numbers associated with their birth date, perhaps appearing on digital clocks, license plates, or even on your purchase receipts. It is also quite possible you will repeatedly come across the anniversary of their passing in various unexpected settings. Moreover, you might notice certain melodies playing, receive calls from particular people, or encounter unique circumstances on dates that were deeply meaningful in your collective history. Edgar Cayce posited that the souls of those who have passed on maintain the ability to affect what he named the interwoven fabric of synchronicity, referring to those invisible links between occurrences that appear to have no immediate association. If you continually perceive these repeating numerical sequences, or if significant coincidences occur with a frequency that truly defies statistical odds, recognize that your beloved individual is arranging these happenings to convey their enduring consciousness of your path in this world. We shall now direct our focus to the seventh sign, the sensing of a presence, recognized as the primary indicator. However, the seventh and most extraordinary insight, noted by Edgar Cayce, also holds the most delicate quality: an unmistakable inner conviction that your beloved is truly near, even when their physical form remains unseen or unheard. Cayce referred to this deep experience as the communion of hearts. He clarified that affection weaves an energetic connection that the passage of transition is powerless to break. At times, the spiritual link grows so potent that you can truly perceive your loved one's closeness with a clarity as real as if they were physically in your presence. Such an experience does not arise from mere fantasy, nor is it simply an optimistic desire. Cayce maintained that this is your own spirit recognizing the unique energetic blueprint of an individual who cherishes you profoundly. It represents a soul opting to come near you precisely when your yearning for their presence is at its deepest. This presence might manifest when you face a challenging choice, and a gentle wave of love and direction washes over you. Or perhaps it becomes apparent in moments of sorrow, as you sense unseen embraces holding you tenderly. Furthermore, it might arise during the celebration of a significant event, and you feel their joyful participation distinctly by your side. Edgar Cayce articulated this with unwavering conviction. When you recognize the nearness of your departed loved ones, embrace that feeling. Do not disregard it or try to explain it away with purely logical thought. They are truly present. They are standing next to you. They are communicating to you that love extends beyond simple parting, and your connection with them persists in a way that goes beyond the physical realm. This reveals a more profound insight, nurturing connections beyond the veil. Now, we shall delve into a significant understanding Edgar Cayce grasped, an awareness that often eludes many people. The distinct signals we receive are not just arbitrary reassurances sent from the spiritual realm. Instead, they are an integral element of a grander scheme. A profound grasp of consciousness and love has now come to light, fundamentally changing how we see things. Cayce's insights reveal that upon the passing of a loved one, we don't simply feel their absence. Instead, we discover a new path for connection with them. Their essence is no longer confined by a material form, terrestrial time, or geographical boundaries. They possess the ability to be alongside numerous people at the very same moment. They are able to influence situations across wide distances, extending guidance and a shield of protection that was unachievable in their earthly lives. Nevertheless, a fundamental prerequisite applies. This lasting bond relies upon our receptiveness. If we decide to retreat into ourselves, disregarding potential possibilities, rationalizing every quiet hint, and missing every important coincidence, we essentially sever the bond that has the power to reshape our grief into profound beauty and significance. Cayce frequently expressed the idea that those who have departed require our faith in their ongoing presence almost as much as we yearn to sense it firsthand. By recognizing the communications they send, by engaging in dialogue with them, and by integrating them into our everyday existence, we strengthen the link that stretches across various realms. Through this practice, it becomes simpler for them to reach out to us and enhances our capacity to absorb their affection and wisdom. This perspective neither diminishes the natural sensation of grief, nor does it imply a lack of longing for their tangible form. Rather, it communicates that the bond you hold with them remains perfectly intact. Instead, it transforms, developing into a connection of deeper significance, a more subtle presence, truly able to intensify with the passing years. Take a moment to gently consider this profound idea. Imagine a world where every beloved individual you have said goodbye to stays close by. What if their watchful care persists, nurturing your peace, still desiring to share in the journey of your existence? What if that deep intuition you occasionally feel, the sensation of never being solitary, of being watched over, is more than a mere hopeful fantasy? What if it represents the most fundamental truth of who you are? And what if, by embracing these subtle indications within your heart, by heeding these communications, and by trusting in the timeless nature of love, you could shift your sorrow from an energy that diminishes your spirit into one that expands it? This indeed was the profound offering Edgar Cayce bestowed upon humankind. More than simply confirming that our awareness persists beyond the body's physical end, it functioned as a means for sustaining gentle connections across the invisible boundary. It unveiled a method to remain close to the individuals who matter most, even once their physical form has vanished. If you have perceived any such indications in your personal journey, or if you've been receiving communications from a cherished spirit who has moved on, I encourage you to consider a particular action. Begin by acknowledging these transmissions. Address your dear one aloud. Express your gratitude for these manifestations. Invite them to make their presence known when you're seeking comfort. And I kindly ask that you share your experiences in the comments below. Detail the specific signs that have come to you. Offer your appreciation for the accounts that truly align with your own sentiments. As we gather to explore these deep insights, and when we acknowledge our shared ties to the spiritual dimension, we foster an atmosphere that allows us all to remain more readily open to the love that lasts eternally. With our time together now gently concluding, consider this notion. The departure of a cherished person does not signify the end of your collective journey. It does not even represent the turning of a final chapter. Instead, it indicates a tender metamorphosis, a progression into a modified form of companionship. Those beloved spirits who have transitioned have not genuinely left your side. They have consistently endeavored to communicate this truth to you, utilizing a distinct language of subtle indications and meaningful concurrences. Through soft perceptions of their nearness and moments of profound connection that your heart comprehends without words, even if your logical mind might entertain doubts. The essential inquiry is not truly about whether they are still present with you. The core question, rather, centers on your willingness to allow yourself to embrace this reality. Can you open your innermost self to a love that stretches much further than the simple physical departure. Are you prepared to believe that the bonds you forge throughout your life possess sufficient strength to withstand everything, including that passage we refer to as departing? Because right at this moment, as these words reach your ears, those beloved people you long for have not vanished. They have merely experienced a change. Their presence persists in a form that lies beyond the grasp of your ordinary senses. Nonetheless, their essence is discernible. They are completely aware of you. They are communicating gentle assurances of their unending affection and their constant fellowship. Your grandmother, who gently shared with you the art of baking. Your father, who proudly escorted you down a significant aisle. Your child, whose journey alongside you concluded too soon. Your partner, who promised their affection eternally. Your closest confidant, privy to all your most private thoughts. Each one still upholds their pledges of love for you. They remain an intrinsic part of the ongoing story of your life. The only distinction lies in how you now connect with them. And at this moment, you possess the insight to comprehend this profound connection. You recognize the 7 distinct indications. You understand the silent language of devotion that elegantly transcends the act of physical departure. So, this evening, as you drift towards sleep, communicate to them your awareness of their presence. Offer your gratitude for any indications you might have overlooked previously. Request their assistance in feeling their nearness with heightened clarity. Embrace the tranquil assurance that genuine affection never truly fades away. It merely transforms, evolving into a form even more exquisite than you once perceived. Leaving is not the antithesis of life. Rather, it is simply life's continuous unfolding at its core. Love transcends all limits. I'm grateful you accompanied me on this contemplative exploration. If these insights awaken a sense of renewed hope within your spirit, please share them with anyone who might discover solace in understanding they traverse their sorrow not alone. Please contemplate becoming a subscriber if you wish to delve further into the enigmas of consciousness and lasting connections. And always remember, the warmth you yearn for dwells far closer than you might imagine. Until our journeys converge once more, remain receptive to gentle signs. Cultivate your connection through love, and comprehend that those you seem to have separated from are never genuinely absent. They are simply conveying their affection to you from a realm you cannot yet physically perceive.